everyone, how's it going? Delrith here, bringing you your news for the week of December 5th. This week I am joined by Godfoot.
Salutations, my fellow comrades and viewers. Welcome back to another exciting session of the news.
We'll just roll with it, and we probably shouldn't delay any further. So let's talk about our first article, and that's the fact that Firaxis, the makers of Midnight Suns, pulled out all the stops to let a dying fan play Midnight Suns almost a year before the game came out. And I wanted to start this news with something wholesome, because this is absolutely incredible that they managed to put a playable version of the game's first act together for an individual who had a form of cancer that was terminal, and it was neuroblastoma. The individual's name is Luke Wiltshire, but essentially he was a huge Marvel fan. He got diagnosed when he was 14 and was suffering the whole time. He said one of his last things he wanted to do was play Midnight Suns. And so the studio involved, Firaxis, went and got a build together very, very quickly because of solving kids' cancer. The foundation managed to get a social media campaign going, and they brought him a gaming laptop with Act 1.
This is just extremely wholesome. My best wishes towards Luke, of course, but I think this is more dev studios to be doing this, you know? This is just so nice. I know developing game takes a lot of work. I'm sure it wasn't ready, but they still put all the time together to formulate a playable version, and that's just so nice.
I mean, yeah, and not only that, but he passed away when he was 23, which is extremely unfortunate, but he did get to play the game. And they put him in the credits, and they put Luke W. was here on a carving of the tree in one of the scenes in the game, and they also put him in the credits as well. As a design consultant. But the fact that he's actually in the game itself, where they added that to be able to, for everyone to see that while they're playing through it, is another layer of wholesomeness. It doesn't impact the world as a whole. It didn't make them any more money. It didn't do anything crazy. They just did it because they wanted to do something good for a Marvel fan. And then they went and they immortalized him in the game itself. So I wanted to just say, good on you, Firaxis. That's incredibly wholesome. And honestly, we need more stuff like this to talk about in the news, because this is just feel good stuff. Hey, if you like the content on this channel, do us a favor and subscribe. We're trying to hit 50,000 subscribers in 2023, and every single one really helps. We really want this channel to succeed, and the only way for us to go the distance is if you help share what we do to others. Thanks.
So, Del, have you heard that Twitch just had its biggest viewership decline in years? We're talking back in 2021 with numbers typically around the 3 million range to now just being under 2.2 million concurrent viewers. You being an avid Twitch streamer, Monday through Friday, 3 to 7 p.m. Mountain Time, what are your thoughts on this? Because this just seems worrying for the future of the platform and its current content creators.
First of all, I want to thank you for plugging my Twitch, twitch.tv/Delrith. As you know, with these viewers leaving the channel, I am stricken by poverty. But no, the real reason why I think this is happening, and there's a lot of factors involved, according to this article, but I think the real reason why is because of the ads push. I genuinely feel like the ads incentive push on Twitch is the worst thing they possibly could have done. It has pushed, I know, a number of my friends off the platform onto YouTube, and they've basically just stopped watching anyone but a couple big streamers. And it really just hurts discoverability, and it just hurts the viewership experience tremendously. Because, Godfoot, I know you and I have talked about this, where you go and you try to watch a streamer and you're hit with like ad 1 of 7 the moment you click into a stream if you're not subbed to them. And that's outrageous. And for anyone that doesn't know, ads on Twitch can go between 30 seconds to a minute. So when you're hit with 7 ads, it's around 5 minutes. And that's way too long to wait for going into any stream. And
it just throws off viewers from streams. It's ruining the original content creators, you know? And maybe this is part of the reason why they're being driven away.
I mean, when I go to watch a friend, even if I'm watching a friend, if I click their channel and my sub is lapsed or something and I need to refresh it, but I'm sat with 5 minutes of ads, I'll just come back later. And this also ties into the ad incentive program too on Twitch, where they're forcing streamers now. You can't opt out of it. Just so if anyone's curious, you cannot opt out of ads as a Twitch streamer. They force streamers to play a couple minutes of ads twice an hour now. And it's like 3 to 5 minutes of ads every hour. And you can't opt out of it. You can control when it happens, but it's going to happen, period. And so if you're not manually controlling it, you'll be right in the middle of something and people are hit with unskippable ads. And these are ads that don't get stopped by ad block. They don't get stopped by like uBlock Origin. You can't navigate around them anymore. These are just there. And it kills the experience. It kills special moments. It kills discoverability. It kills the ability to go watch multiple people at the same time.
It also just kills the general momentum of the channel too. It also obviously it kills growth as well. I'm sure Twitch is trying to retain its streamers and people getting the views and everything right and keeping their community, but this is way too aggressive.
And really just think about this by itself too. 2.2 million concurrent viewers is not a lot for the platform as a whole. And you need to think about that from a global perspective. Most MMOs have like around 1 million people. Guild Wars has around 1 million people active a month. And that's an old game. But like when you figure out the fact that like I average around 400 or 500 viewers, I'm in the 0.09% of Twitch. And that really puts that into perspective, because when people think of Twitch streamers, they don't go, oh yeah, 400 viewers isn't that much. You know, there's people with like 30, 40,000. When you're sharing 2 million viewers across like several million Twitch channels, that's a lot, because I think people are saying for every 1 viewer that someone has, there's like 7 channels that have 0. So if you have 100
Absolutely.
viewers, there's like 7,000 people with 0 viewers. It's insane. And I hope to God that quick math was right, but it probably wasn't. It's ridiculous. It's insane. And Twitch is just going to keep going downhill because they're doing very corporate decisions and less about people and more about just making money and trying to make Twitch not a negative growth platform for Amazon. Next up, the Halo Infinite multiplayer creative director has departed 343 Studios. I don't think anyone needs to look too far to find the number of issues that Halo Infinite has had. Don't get me wrong, Forge has just come out and people are really excited for it. It's added so much life to the game, so many great game modes, some incredibly crazy game modes like Tron cycles and stuff like that. But it doesn't look good that Tom French, since he'd worked on Halo for over 11 years, has just departed 343. Halo Infinite's not doing very well. The multiplayer is really up in the air, questionable wise. Do you think this is going to do anything worse to the company?
Tom French was the creative director for the multiplayer, which is the only expansion point of Halo Infinite as a game and an IP from now on, as far as we know. For him to leave could either mean one of two things. Either some of the problems could, change to someone else's name to have them go through different tactics to try to improve them, or some of the cool things that held up the multiplayer of Infinite could now succumb to those very same detriments, right? We're not entirely sure what's going to happen from this point on.
Maybe it's also across, like maybe he was basically like, I failed this community and I want to leave. We don't really know, because if you think about it, a lot of the issues people had were like core design issues in multiplayer. And so it's not surprising that there was a lot of pushback. One of the biggest things was that the only way to level up was from doing challenges, how many kills you got, how there was no other XP form. It was just do talent challenges to rank up your character. And people hated that. You also had the fact that the cooperative campaign for multiplayer only came out last month. It came out last month, a year after release. And it's only playable on a network, by the way. Not local co-op. It's completely gone. That was canceled. That was thrown away. So it's just, there's so many problems with this game and so many issues that it's not surprising people are leaving. And I don't know, I don't really have any hope left for Halo, but yeah, it's all these problems. And then you see the multiplayer creative director departing, and then other people leaving ship. The studio head and founder Bonnie Ross left the company. And then David Berger, who's a developer on the Slipspace engine, like a primary one. Seeing these people bailing out on Halo and bailing out on Halo Infinite doesn't really bring confidence to the table. And
it really doesn't bode well for the future of the game.
I will say good job on Forge. It's fantastic. Too little too late though.
100%.
And we'll have to see if him leaving leads into even more people leaving the company, more people leaving 343. And genuinely, I don't think 343 should be in charge of Halo anymore. And I don't think there's any coming back from it with their next game. People are going to be super critical. They're not going to give 343 a chance. Honestly, they haven't earned it. So I'm concerned for the game's future. It seems like everything is going bad for Halo. Next up, we've got fantastic news, and that is Activision Blizzard has seen the second successful union drive.
You did. You crazy son of a bitch, you did.
QA workers at Blizzard Albany have joined their colleagues at Raven in the Game Workers and Alliance. Now, we've talked extensively about the necessity of unions forming in the gaming industry, what with massive crunch, sexual assault and sexual abuse, all these horrible controversies, especially at Activision Blizzard. It is fantastic to see that another group of workers have joined a union at Blizzard, especially considering that Activision Blizzard is spending literal millions of dollars to try to union bust these places and to union bust these organizations. And the more unions that form, the more likely that more are going to see that you could get away with it and there's no repercussions, because a lot of these people that were waiting to form unions, Godfoot, have just been waiting to see if other people could succeed. And it's kind of like a snowball effect, because, you know, everyone's afraid of losing their jobs, the pushback, the punishments. But you can see here that the Game Workers Alliance has tweeted out they won.
It's just really cool. The National Labor Relations Board ruled against Activision Blizzard's motion to delay their vote. I think that just proves that, hey, you know, the union still has power, still can do stuff, and hopefully this gives other game companies and other people who work for them the power to still speak up and fix workplace disorder. Looking at all that's going on here, I mean, this can only lead to better things.
Yeah, keep in mind, these are quality assurance workers. These are QA, people that have to test the game and report bugs and stuff. I would love to see an actual development, like dev branch, like Blizzard proper, trying to unionize, or like actual development branches, cinematic
absolutely.
branches, like large number of employees starting to unionize, because the only way to really stop people from being abused in this sort of situation is to get together and threaten to hurt a company, as far as like through union action goes. So I'm hopeful. I want to see other branches of Blizzard follow suit. I want to see more QA workers follow suit. I hope that Blizzard doesn't just scorch earth these people and fire them all and reform and create a new branch. I assume that if a union movement gets enough force, that Blizzard will probably just try to shut the company down and move the branch somewhere else where they don't have to deal with it. But we'll just have to wait and see. This is definitely the beginning of a very big battle. I do not doubt that a multi-$100 million company, multi-billion-dollar company like Activision Blizzard isn't going to do literally everything within their power to stop this from getting any further, because this is definitely a tipping point. And if they get away with this in Blizzard's eyes, more people are going to get away with it, and we're going to start seeing some really dirty stuff get thrown on the table.
We've got some awesome information from John Wick's creator, Derek Kolstad. He's working on another video game adaptation. I mean, he literally just right after he finished saying that he was working on a Streets of Rage film, turns out he started working on one for Sifu. Yeah, that's Sifu. The Sifu that I loved a lot. You know, the Kung Fu action game.
It's based on Sifu specifically.
That's, you know, awesome Kung Fu action game where every time you die, you age. Really cool premise, really cool execution. So it turns out that Kolstad and his partners with the media company Story Kitchen.
Never heard of them.
I haven't either, but they teamed up with the developers of Sifu and their publisher, Slow Clap. Awesome publisher, by the way. They're working on a movie adaptation of the actual game itself, which is going to be really cool because the premise of Sifu is awesome. And in my opinion, the execution of the game was...
I still think they should have rolled with my idea for the game, Godfoot. And
we're not doing Bifu.
That's Bifu, dude.
We're not doing Bifu.
Sifu, but really fat, dude. Bifu. That would represent.
No, we're not doing Bifu. All right. Bifu can be the spinoff. All right.
The sequel, Sifu 2, even beefier.
Yeah. The main protagonist gets depressed and then becomes Bifu. But yeah, I mean, you know, in all seriousness, this is gonna be amazing. I just hope they stay true to the formula of the game and the story and expand on that further, because the story of Sifu is it's simple, but it still has its intrigue. And I hope they continue to pass that on and just build more of the characters, some more backstory, some more stuff. What happens afterwards? We did get a cliffhanger in the game, no spoilers. But basically, I just wanted them to expand this universe. This is a great universe, a beautiful one to go into, and I'm really excited to see what happens.
I have a very conflicted opinion about video game movies.
Nani?
Like, there's not really good ones, man. Like TV shows as well.
Yeah,
like all we've got is The Witcher. Okay, and that's already going up shit creek without a paddle. But here's the thing, Godfoot.
Yeah.
there's not been a lot of kung fu movies, especially Western audience kung fu movies, in the last like 20 years. There's been hardly any. And so I like watching the
there
old
have
kung
been,
fu.
but they're B movies.
Yeah, I like watching like the old Jet Li and Bruce Lee and Jackie Chan movies, and I forget the name of the director that did like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, like those types of movies. Phenomenal, and we haven't gotten them in forever. So I don't even care if this is based on Sifu. I'm just happy to know that they're making another kung fu movie, man.
It's not even just kung fu, because like also think about it, like they're even incorporating Donnie Yen, you know, who portrayed IP Man with his Wing Chun. This is some of the combat in the game is like Wing Chun. But there's like we're entering another, hopefully entering another golden age of actually making great series and movies based off of games.
And so we'll just have to wait and see. But anyway, that's going to be it for this week's gaming news. Your comment prompt for down below this week is going to be, if you could see any video game turned into a movie or a TV series, literally any franchise, any video game, any specific one, if you could see it turned into a movie franchise, what would you want to see it turn? Like what would you love to see turned into a movie? For me, I want to see, honestly, man, that's a tough one, but probably Knights of the Old Republic turned into like a full cinematic movie. Like the actual game. Like, you remember when the Star Wars The Old Republic was coming out and they spent like $100 million on those CGI like movie trailers for the game? If they just made a movie like that, dude, 10 out of 10, I'd watch it 100 times over again. Gaffa, what would you want to be seen made into a movie?
Oh, come on now, Deli boy. You know exactly what I'm to see in a movie. What is the franchise that I absolutely love to death?
Cooking Mama.
You want to try that again?
Animal Crossing.
No. Okay, because your brain cells have left you.
Yakuza,
It is.
I know.
Yakuza, baby. I want to see it done well. You know. Okay. The movie for Yakuza was.
Well, you heard him, so let us know what you would think down below. Anyway, that's going to be it for this week's news. Thank you so much for watching. And until the next video, this is Delrith and Godfoot, and we'll be seeing you. Bye.
Farewell.